Yo, what's up? It's your boy Currency 365. Hope you guys are doing well. Legends never die, they stay in our hearts. If you want to support us, click the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also you can come down here and hit the join button under the video or in our channel section. And you can also join our Patreon, patreon.com/currency365. And we also have Cash App and also PayPal for support if you want to sow some seeds. Peace out. God bless. Enjoy the video and keep the movement going. Legends. Bye.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Newsroom. I'm Chella Smith. This is your Middle East U.S. entertainment news here on YouTube. I air on Fridays. I'll bring you the latest on reforms and economics of Iraq based on reports put out by the Middle East news media outlets. I do this weekly review, and it's based off my interest. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Let's get in and out today. It's a really nice day outside. Last week, we spoke about new technology, oil fields, acoustic data, stock exchange, Iraqi sovereignty, and a lot more. Let's take a look at this week's headlines. Okay, guys, I won't keep you here long today, as I said in the beginning of the video. However, we got some grounds to cover. Al-Sudani announces the implementation of the development path for Baghdad Metro and the Karbala-Najaf train. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani announces the launch of investment opportunities for Baghdad and Metro project and the Karbala-Najaf Express train project at the ceremony attended by representatives, ministers, ambassadors, and diplomatic missions. The Minister of Transport signed a contract with CHSS and HSS, two Lebanese and Malaysian companies, to provide advisory service for the project. The Baghdad Metro project, which was included in the city's design decades ago, it aimed to advance the public transportation sector and provide ease of transportation for low-income groups. The Karbala-Najaf Express train project, which connected a few cities, let me try to not to chop these up, but it's Al-Najaf, Al-Ashraf, and Hali Karbala, has been discussing these for years due to the transportation crisis between the two cities. The development road project is on track, and the investment portfolio for Baghdad International Airport will soon be completed. The consultation contract for Baghdad Metro and the Karbala-Najaf Express train were signed by the mayor of Baghdad and the director general of the General Road Raid Company, respectively. This is fantastic news, in my opinion. They're bringing metro and high-speed train projects to Iraq and the reconstruction projects. This is great news for returning to an international stage, in my opinion. We'll need international money to be returned, not just the inflation money. So this is all great direction. Speaking about travelers and cost and Iraqi dinars, let's talk about it. The Hajj and Umrah are conducted in Iraqi dinars. The Kurdistan companies have stopped operating in dollars. This has made things very complicated. And the Hajj and Umrah authorities in the Kurdistan region have decided to collect travelers' costs of pilgrims in Iraqi dinars instead of the dollar. With the value determined at the central bank exchange rate, the decision was made after meeting with the Hajj and Umrah office in the region. Registrants who do not pay during the period will lose their Hajj rights this year. Interesting. So they're cracking down pretty strictly. Sudani met with the U.S. Vice President in Munich. The U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris will meet with the Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani and Israeli President Isaac Herzog as the Munich Security Conference 2024. The 60th anniversary event held in Munich will focus on pressing international security issues such as the Ukraine and Gaza war, migration, climate change, and artificial intelligence. The conference will evolve around 50 heads of state, over 100 ministers, and heads of the international and civil society organizations. The meeting is held each February. Top politicians from the world's continents gather in Munich for a global security conference. Speaking about meetings in Munich, President Narendra Barzani and UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres discussed the importance of protecting Iraq's stability during the meeting in Munich. They discussed the security and political situations in Iraq, challenges, and the risk for the entire region. And Prime Minister of Iraq views Iraq as a prime location for investments and economic growth. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani has confirmed to the British Foreign Minister David Cameron that his government is working to regulate its relationships with international coalitions and in its presence in Iraq. He also emphasizes the need for major countries to end the ongoing war in Palestine territories, protect civilians, and provide humanitarian assistance. And reminding you that they need half or better, meaning that 100 isn't paving the way. They will need about 162-ish plus one. Sudani resolved debate over ending the U.S. presence in the Kurdistans. Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani emphasizes the decision to end the international coalition presence from Iraq, stating that everyone is participating in negotiations for the coalition, the American presence, which will apply to the Kurdistans. He noted that the current situation in the region necessitates the acceleration of negotiations and that Iraq has successfully liberated its territories and security services. And there was a lot going on at this meeting. Iraqi Prime Minister Mohammed Shia al-Sudani also met with NATO Commander Admiral Stuart Monch at the Munich Security Conference 2024. The meeting reviewed the security situation in the region and cooperation between NATO and Iraqi security authorities, particularly in training and intelligence coordination. The meeting also touched upon logistical support for NATO mission in Iraq following the withdrawal of international coalition to fight ISIS and the Netherlands taking over the mission next May. Al-Sudani praises the cooperation between Iraq armed forces and NATO. And I told you I wasn't going to keep you long today. The accounting delegation has arrived. An accounting delegation from the Kurdistan government has arrived in Baghdad. A joint accounting delegation from two ministries and the Office of Finance Supervision in the Kurdistan region's government arrived in Baghdad, according to the Minister of Finance and Economy. Now, no other details were given. However, I believe that this is good news for forward movement in Iraq. However, the Iraqi Stock Exchange, the company, has implemented electronic payments and plans to list its companies on the Security Commission trading markets. The Security Commission in Iraq has stopped accepting cash payments and is now only accepting electronic payment methods. The authorities, represented by Faisal Alhims, has been working to animate electronic payments and support market operations. The market will now use mechanisms through intermediates operating in Iraqi Stock Exchange. Electronic payment companies are not traded on the exchange, but are listed on the markets. And despite all the tensions and negotiations going on in the Middle East regarding conflict, Iraq's oil has stopped. Iraq's oil exports in the U.S. ceased last week. The U.S. Energy Information, EIA, reported that Iraq's oil exports to the U.S. has halted in the past week, with averages of U.S. crude oil imports from 7 major countries reaching 4.45 million barrels per day. The U.S. did not import crude oil from Iraq after importing 205,000 barrels per day in the previous week. The majority of oil imports came from Canada, Mexico, Colombia, Saudi Arabia, Brazil, Nigeria, and Ecuador. And there's been some new reports on meetings between the Association of Banks and the Economics of Parliament, which include sanctions. The Committee of Economy, Industry, and Trade, led by MP Ahmed Salim Al-Kanemi, discussed sanctions imposed by the U.S. federal bank on Iraqi private banks with the Association of Iraqi Private Banks and Directors of National Banks. The committee heard about the difficulties faced by the private banks, including freezing balances abroad and stopping foreign transactions. The ban, which affected over 47% of the Iraqi assets, deposits, and capital, has been critical by the Association of the Iraqi Banks. The committee is working with the Council of Ministry and the Central Bank of Iraq to find the effective solutions of the lift of these bans. And I saved this article for last. The UN has issued a statement elaborating on the reasons behind Janine Plashert's departure from Baghdad. The UN's mission in Iraq, the UNAMI, has defended the departure of specialist representatives Janine Plashert, stating that it's consistent with UN practice. The mission distanced itself from allegations of corruption at UNDP, asserting that the UNAMI and the UNDP have different administrative and financial structures. It urges the media to prioritize accuracy and refrain from circulating misinformation. Janine Plashert's departure comes 5 years after her arrival in Baghdad in December 2018. And it's important for us to always get accurate information because we're reading that and summarizing it here for this channel. And you've been watching Newsroom Weekly Review. I'm Chella Smith with your Middle East U.S. entertainment news on reforms and economics of Iraq. I bring you the latest Dinar news without having to keep up with all the different outlets. I'm here on YouTube every Friday, so don't forget to subscribe and turn those notification bells on. If you like my content, smash the like button. If you really like my content, you can always seed a super chat or super thanks in the comment section below. Again, thank you for being a subscriber, and thank you for visiting Newsroom Chella Smith for your trusted Dinar news. I'll see you guys next week. Have a fabulous weekend, everyone. Take care. Make sure you join us Fridays, 4 p.m. with Newsroom Updates with Chella Smith, Entertainment News.